Hi guys, how have you guys been doing? I've been doing very good today. So welcome back to a brand new movie review on my channel. And today we're revealing Return to Oz from 1985. Return to Oz from 1985. This movie takes place in Kansas. This movie is kind of like a sequel to like The Wizard of Oz from 1939. Yeah, kind of like a sequel. It's kind of like a sequel. This movie takes place in Kansas once again. So I just reviewed Wizard of Oz from 1939 and Oz the Great and Powerful from 2013. So now I'm here revealing Return to Oz from 1985. And so without further ado, let's get into the plot without getting further away. So the movie begins where we see the main character Dorothy Gale hanging out back home with her dog Toto, and that's revealed that her aunt Emily, and her uncle Henry do not believe Dorothy about the imagination of the land of Oz that she's been telling them about, including her farmers. They think that she's making up a wild story about her friends and that she needs to get helped. And they're gonna take Dorothy to the doctor so that they can so that they can clear her head up, so they can take their dreams away from her. So the next day they head to the doctor's office. So the next day, Dorothy's in with dog Toto, and she found this key which had belonged to Oz. It was probably a message like from the Scarecrow. He probably was able to send it to Dorothy. Send it to Dorothy just as her Aunt Emily about it. Of course, her Aunt Emily doesn't believe her, and so now Aunt Emily's taking Dorothy to the hospital, where she again tries to tell her friends to tell the doctors about her imagination about the land of Oz. But of course, just like Aunt Emily, they do not believe her, so they say they're going to get her some professional help. They say they're going to use the machine to erase her memories about the land of Oz and her imaginations and that stuff. About her imaginations and that stuff. About the land of Oz and that stuff. So later during the night, while she's hanging out in the land of Oz, she sees this young girl named Ozma and that stuff. That's right. So Ozma rescues Dorothy from the hospital. And then she gets on this carriage. And then the next morning when she wakes up, she realizes that she's back in the land of Oz and she's in like the deserted islands and that stuff. And so Dorothy realizes that something bad is happening in the land of Oz, that Emerald City has been completely destroyed, and everybody in the land of Oz has been frozen. Has been frozen. And she sees this message from Beware the Wheelers. So the Wheelers start chasing Dorothy until she enters this room where she sees this robot named TikTok, and so Dorothy brings him to life. So TikTok joins Dorothy, and then when he heads outside, the Wheelers come, and then TikTok fights them, and then one of the guards explains that Scarecrow has been taken by the Gnome King, and the only one who knows Scarecrow has been taken, and the only one who knows where the Gnome King is Princess Mombi. So Dorothy and her friends go to the castle where they meet Princess Mombi, who is the queen of the castle, and that she is responsible for what happened, for what has happened in the land of Oz. So it's revealed that Princess Mombi has heads. That's when she switches her heads every single time. Switches her heads. That's right, switches. She switches her heads every single time. She switches her heads every single time. She switches her heads every single time until she captures Dorothy and her chicken. That's right. So they lock her in the dungeon, and there she meets this pumpkin named Jack. That's right. So Dorothy becomes his mother. That's right. So Dorothy privately sneaks in for Princess Mombi's room and takes the key, and then she takes Jack's magic potion from pumpkin pie from Princess Mombi. So Dorothy gives it to him, and then she rescues his friend TikTok. Then Princess Mombi realizes this, and she's chasing after them, and then they build this bed, this magical bed with a deer on it. They're flying up on the sky. So Princess Mombi orders her wheelers to find Dorothy and her friends and bring her to hurry. So then the next morning, Dorothy and her friends fall down to this mountain, where it's revealed that the Gnome King has been watching on them since from the very beginning of the film. He's been watching them since the very beginning of the film. He's been watching them since the very beginning of the film and that stuff. The film. So Dorothy and her friends meet Gnome King, and they demand him to release Scarecrow, but of course he refuses. So they enter inside the cave where the Gnome King lives. They're playing this game of where Scarecrow is. So Dorothy tells Gnome King that she came all this way to the land of Oz to find the Scarecrow. So the Gnome King reveals that he has kept Dorothy's ruby slippers. And that's revealed that Gnome King has captured Dorothy's friends and puts them in dungeons. That's right. So Dorothy goes to look for her friends, and then when Dorothy touches the Green Lantern, she shouts, "Oz!" And then Scarecrow has been released. That's right. So then Princess Mombi heads there. And she tells Gnome King that he couldn't find Dorothy. So Gnome King betrays Princess Mombi and traps her in the dungeon, that's right, in the cell. And the Dorothy and Scarecrow touch all the Green Lanterns, and they begin continue shouting Oz! And all of her friends have been released, and the Gnome King appears and tries to kill Dorothy and all of her friends, and then Dorothy's chicken saves Jack, and the Gnome King gets destroyed. Then Dorothy gets her ruby slippers back, and then now Now everything in the Land of Oz has returned back to normal. Now everyone in the Land of Oz has been unfrozen. Now everyone has returned back to normal. So Princess Mombi is gonna be arrested for her crimes for taking over the Land of Oz. So it's revealed that the girl in the mirror is Ozma, Princess Ozma. So Ozma reveals that she will that Princess Mombi will be locked inside for her crimes. That's right, locked in for her crimes. That's right, for her crime. For her crimes, that's right. So Dorothy says goodbye to all of her friends and to the people of Oz. And so Ozma sends Dorothy back to Kansas. And then the next morning back in Kansas, when Dorothy wakes up, she realizes that she's back in Kansas. That's right. So Dorothy reunites with her Aunt Emily and her Uncle Henry. So then they head back home. And then it's revealed that the doctors have been arrested for trying to erase Dorothy's memory, that's right, about the Land of Oz. That's real that back home, Dorothy's hanging out with her family. And so that's how the movie ends. So what did I think about this movie? I think it's a pretty good sequel to like The Wizard of Oz. And also I forgot to mention, this movie did not start out black and white like the first Wizard of Oz movie. Yeah, it didn't start off in black and white. It started off in a full color and that stuff. And like in full color and that stuff. It started off like in full color. Like in full color, that's right. So once again, like the Wizard of Oz movie, it began first in Kansas and then back to the Land of Oz again. That's right, back to the Land of Oz, that's right. To the Land of Oz. And so I thought this was a pretty good sequel. So like I liked all the characters in the movie. I liked the TikTok in the movie and the jack-o'-lantern and the pumpkin, that's right. The jack-o'-lantern. And so I thought the story of the movie is pretty cool. That's right, the story in it is really cool. And so also I like the main villains in the movie. We have Gnome King and Princess Mombi. Gnome King and Princess Mombi and the Wheelers, that's right. These are all like the main villains in the movie. The main villain. Honestly, and that's right, and there's Princess Ozma in the movie, that's right. And also forgot to mention Glinda the Good Witch of the South. Glinda the Good Witch, she doesn't appear in this movie. Glinda does not appear in this movie because, for some reason, Glinda does not really appear in this film at all. She doesn't really appear. She doesn't have any appearance of screen time in this movie. In this movie. It's also, I thought the soundtrack in the movie was really cool. The soundtrack in it was really nice. And I also thought the special effects in the movie really nice. The special effects in it were awesome. About the visuals in it looked really nice. I thought the editing in the movie was really cool. Return to Oz, that's right. I felt the background of the movie was really nice. I also thought the direction of the movie was really cool. And Return. I also thought that the structure of the movie was really nice. And I thought the pacing in the movie was really amazing. And I also thought that the steaming in it was really cool. And I also thought the CGI in it was really amazing. It was really nice. That's right. It was really amazing. And I also thought the final battle of the movie was so amazing. With Dorothy and her friends against the Gnome King, that's right, the Gnome King. And Princess Mombi, that's right. That's right. I finally thought the ending of the movie was really nice and really cool. So that's my movie review on the Return to Oz from 1985. So overall rating, I'm gonna give this movie an A plus. An A plus. I thought this was a really good movie. So that's my movie review on the Return to Oz from 1985. And so don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. So I'll be seeing you guys soon next time, and goodbye everyone. See you soon.